I'm back, and today I'll be doing Marvel Legends from the Toy Biz line series 14, I believe, and that's Longshot. His first appearance is in Longshot number 1 in 1985, his own limited series, and he's pretty much created by Ann Nocenti and uh, Art Adams, who's a great artist. Uh, you don't see him as often nowadays. I think he does a lot of more independent work, but he used to be very big in Marvel in the 80s and 90s. Did some great work there, particularly in the X-Men lines. Uh, so he comes from a dimension called the Mojo-verse, and it's ruled by these guys called the Spineless Ones. They're called the Spineless Ones because they have evolved where they no longer need spines. They have robotic, cybernetic enhancements to carry them around to take the place of their backbones. So, however, they create slaves genetically, and that's where this guy comes into play, because the head geneticist, I guess he grows a conscience and starts to give the slaves free will, and this is his first sort of free will. Well, I can't really call him a slave, but he's not subservient to the Spineless Ones, and he is going to lead and does lead a revolt against the head of this universe, the ruler, who is called Mojo, and he was the Build-A-Figure for not this line, but then this line, I think. So anyway, during the rebellion, they all him and a bunch of other slaves who also had free will given to them. They have this sort of mystic ritual to give them good luck, and what it does is it gives him good luck powers. More on that later. So anyway, they revolt, and the Spineless Ones and their minions actually defeat them, but he flees to Earth, and there he doesn't have any memory. He becomes a stuntman for the movies, and lives there for a time. Gets into a romantic relationship, pursued by Spiral, another. She's like cybernetic. She has a bunch of arms, and she's a bounty hunter that tracks down loose runaway slaves. And so, after defeating her, he heads back to the Mojo-verse to free the slaves. Well, he doesn't succeed in this again, and is thrown back to Earth, and where he coincidentally meets up with the X-Men, and he stays with them for a while, getting really attached to Dazzler. They become sort of an item and he goes with them to Dallas, where during the fall of the mutants crossover event, it is believed the X-Men have died, but they really go to the outback in Australia, and shortly thereafter they have a falling out, and he leads the X-Men, and then well, that's a whole different story, but so anyway, he leaves the X-Men and is pretty much maybe a guest spot here or there until he joins the Exiles in their fight against a not the Proteus, but a version of Proteus who is now able to skip through all the different universes. He eventually returns to Earth and it joins X Factor. Let's get into his powers. He has his luck powers, and they give him good luck and other people bad luck. And he has lots of psychic abilities too. He has clairaudience, which he can hear the voices of the dead. He also has psychometry, which he can hold an object or touch a person and find out things about their past or their present. And he carries these little flechettes or blades that he is very accurate at throwing them at people. And one other thing is just that it's not really a power, it's just a genetic modification, is that his bones are hollow, so it makes him lighter, and they're not any weaker, but they make him lighter, and so he can do lots of acrobatics. Let's get into the figure. It's an okay sculpt. I mean, it's really not one of my favorite figures. This is actually one of my least favorite figures, and it's sad because I kind of have, well, not real big fan, but yeah, he was one of the X-Men when I first started reading the X-Men, the actual X-Men. So there's always a little sort of affection for him. And you might notice that he does have only 4 fingers, which is an oddity, but is correct. He sports the late 80s MacGyver mullet hairdo. He is a nice bandolier. Of course, you can see where the flechettes he's holding in his hand, he's taken out of his bandolier. That was a nice little touch. He's got a little pouch for extra things. Nice belt. But that's about it. I mean, as you can see, the joints on this character are just so weak that he just flops around. This is a par for the course of a lot of the later figures coming out from Toy Biz. So that is Longshot. I can't really recommend him. He's just maybe it's my particular toy, but he's just so floppy and poor quality that it's like, why did they even bother? It seems like that's the attitude. So anyway, that's Longshot.